Good morning. I hope all is well, and I hope that you guys are having wonderful holidays this year. I know a lot has been going on, but hopefully you have had some time to rest and to enjoy the holidays with people that you are close to. So thank you so much for being here. I truly, deeply appreciate you guys. And you guys really do mean a lot to me. I know that I'm still just barely starting off on my journey, but to have your guys' support really does mean a lot to me. And I hope that we can build a little soul family here in this little tiny corner of YouTube. Well, my disclaimers are in the description box below if you are in need of those. And just to let you know really quick, one quick disclaimer, I may cuss a lot, so if that's something that you can't get down with, then this is probably not the channel for you guys. But regardless, thank you so much for being here, for clicking on here, and for being with me on my beginning journey. And I saw 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much. If you would like to contact me for readings or anything of that sort, feel free to look down the description box, and I have some information down there. Or you guys can leave a comment or, message me. If there's any type of readings that you guys would like me to do, like to specify a love reading or a career reading or something of that sort, or perhaps to focus more on pick a card readings or something, please let me know in the comments down below, because I am interested in bringing the messages to you guys that you guys need to hear. So if that's something that interests you, if you would like to let me know a specific topic that you are interested in hearing more about, then please let me know. So for today, I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do, but I kind of just go with the flow on this channel. So my most frequently used question to spirit, I guess, is like, what general message do I need to know right now? Or what do I need to be aware of at this very moment? So I'm going to ask the same thing. However, I wanted to specifically use this deck today. Because this deck, I have not used it very much. It is probably my least used deck these days. And this is the Soul and Spirits Tarot. It is very beautiful. So each card has a like a folklore kind of imagery. So we're going to be using this deck today and see what this deck wants to share with us. So let's get ready. Oh, and today I kind of dressed up for you guys, just wearing my jewelry today. I've been feeling super naked in my readings. So this is kind of my everyday jewelry, but just with a little bit of changes. But anyway, I'm not here for that. So let's begin with some breathing exercises today. Shall we? We're going to breathe in together and we'll breathe out together. With every hit of the bowl, breathe in and then we'll breathe out together. And then at the end, I will make it sing. All right? And then just follow the natural flow of your breath. Just be aware of it, okay? So let's begin. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Earlier I saw 515, making me think of releasing all of the tension in our bodies, changing our vibration to positive. 5 is a number of change. Let's be aware of the changes in our breath and be aware of the thoughts that come to our mind as we continue to breathe together. Alrighty. I think that is enough of an intro. So let's just jump right into it. Thank you again so much for being here, and I hope that these messages that come through help provide you with some clarity. Know that you have the power within yourself to change your circumstances and to change what is going on in your life, the things that you are capable of changing. Let's see what messages we get today. Ooh, interesting. And I was thinking about the Magician card earlier when I said 1, 2, 3. It made me think of that energy. So let's see what the Magician wants to share with us today. So this chunk of cards just fell. Let's see. The 3 of Wands. The 10 of Cups. The 7 of Swords. The Empress. Let's see what else comes out for us. What message do you have for us today? Let's see here. Under the deck we have the Hanged Man. Here we have the Wheel of Fortune reverse, Queen of Wands, and the 3 of Pentacles. Okay. So starting off with the Magician. This is kind of a message that I talk a lot about in my readings. This message comes through a lot about being the magician of your own life, taking responsibility for your own life and for your actions, Take responsibility for the way that you choose to handle the circumstances in your life. And that does not mean that, none of us are perfect. You know, none of us are perfect. However, it is important for us all to learn that in life, the importance is to learn and grow, to learn from the mistakes that we have done, and to try not to perpetuate and continue to do those things. But also to realize that when there are people, places, and things in our life that no longer resonate with us, or that bring us a lot of strife, a lot of difficulty, a lot of challenges, it is important to know that you have the power within you to change your circumstances, to choose a different path, to follow and pursue what makes you happy and what brings you fulfillment. And it's important to know, again, that your thoughts create your reality. Our thoughts are energy, and energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So what happens with our thoughts? Even if we do not put our thoughts into active, some kind of action, we are still creating our reality based on our thoughts. And so what I'm seeing here again, I'm saying again because these are messages that keep coming through in my readings, is about stepping into your own power, about taking responsibility for your own thoughts and your actions and your behaviors, to change the things about yourself that you're not so proud of, and to focus on the things that you are proud of, the things that make you happy, the things that you want to accomplish and that you want to achieve, the things that you want to pursue in life. To know that you are strong enough and smart enough, and you are capable of opening up many doorways, of providing yourself with new possibilities and opportunities to communicate with other people, to follow your happiness and what brings you peace and joy, but also not to forget where your roots are, where you come from. Not to forget all of the things in your life that has happened, because they help us, shape us into who we are. And, as adults, it is important for us not to be stuck in a victim mentality. It is important for us to view the things that have happened to us. And I've mentioned this before. It's not that it's okay what other people have done in our lives. It's not that what we have done to other people is okay. It's understanding that life changes. And it's up to us to choose which direction we want to take, or it's up to us to choose how to react to the circumstances in our life. We can view things in a negative light and woe is me and things are always happening, or we can view it with some responsibility and what is it that I can do in my life? I saw 1414. What is it that I can do in my life to change my circumstances, to change my stability, to build more stability within my own life? And usually, we'll find that there are people, places, things in our life that we have been holding on to that no longer resonate with us anymore. So what I'm seeing here again is a focus on your thoughts, a focus on what is it that you want to create in this life, especially for the Magician card to come out in the first position of this reading really says a lot. And so I think a main focus of this reading is going to be about stepping into your own power and releasing negativity, releasing burdening thoughts. If this message is kind of resonating with you, I would recommend watching my previous reading, which I think I posted in 2 parts perhaps, because we go more into this in that reading. Now underneath here we have the Empress. The Empress. Who is the Empress? The Empress is someone who is kind, who's compassionate, who's loving, who's understanding, someone who is everything and more. Someone who has this divine light within them. Someone who shares their wisdom. Someone who shares their compassion. It's like this is kind of giving me a feeling of someone is saying like, oh, I did this and I know I was wrong and I'm sorry, can you forgive me? It kind of gives me a feeling of confessional, which is like a Catholic practice, I believe, confessing your sins or whatever, and this desire for forgiveness. So what I'm seeing here is perhaps you have done something that you're not so proud of, and deep down inside, perhaps you're still carrying that with you, and it's time for you to forgive yourself. It's time for you to be that angel within your own life. And I also talked about this in my other reading too. You're either your greatest ally or your worst enemy, and that is our choice. And it's important for us to step into this energy of being our own guardian, being our own angel of a sort. You know what I mean? To be there for ourselves, to know that the divine, regardless of what kind of god or goddess that you pray to or you don't, or that you do or do not believe in, it's not about who is who or what is what. It's not about that. It's about having that energy within us. It's about understanding that we are not alone. And who are we to think that we have all the answers when we cannot even explain the inner workings of the universe? We have really progressed a lot as a society and as a human race. However, we are still not as knowledgeable in the inner outer workings of this universe. We are still but babies in a sense, you know what I mean? In comparison to all of the knowledge and all of the power and all of the everything that is out there, we are still learning. We are children of life. It's like that quote, how does it go? Life is about learning, and it's important to always have that mentality of someone who is willing and ready and open and accepting and welcoming of the energy of newness and new knowledge, new experiences, things of that sort. But kind of going back, I think I got a little sidetracked there, but going back to this Empress card, I'm seeing there is a need to forgive yourself and forgive circumstances and people around you. And I always mention this, forgiving people does not mean that you're weak. Forgiving people does not mean that you're saying it's okay what they did, or it's not saying that you are thinking that what you did is okay either. It is just saying that you are at a place at a time in your life where you understand that what happened was wrong, but you are taking the mantle of, you know what, it's my choice to let this burden me further or to release it, to let it go. And that's what I'm seeing here. Release the things in your life that bring you guilt and shame, and understand that, you know, we all have aspects of ourselves that we're not so proud of. And it's not about focusing on the things about us that we don't like. It's about acknowledging the things about us that we don't like and striving to understand why we behave the way that we behave, or why do we resort to being that kind of person, or, you know, it's important for us to do the shadow work, essentially. It's important for us to realize, you know, what makes that situation bad, right? Like, what is it that I did that was wrong? Okay, well, I did this that was wrong, and you know what? I learned my lesson. When you learn your lesson and you ask for forgiveness, if you need to ask other people for forgiveness, then do so with no shame, with no judgment towards yourself, with no guilt. Like, that's not the point. The point is to learn from it. So once you're at a position where you can view the situation and accept what has happened, accept the way that you handled it or the way that someone else handled it, because you cannot change that. But to apologize when needed, and to learn that whether someone else forgives you or not is, once you asked, I'm sorry, and then I saw 22. Once you ask someone for forgiveness, if you mean it with all your heart, body, mind, and soul, and you genuinely ask someone for forgiveness, at that point it is completely out of your hands. And at that point, you know, regardless if they forgive you or not, should not hold you back, because you did your part in asking for forgiveness. You did your part in learning the lesson. And if you have not, then this is a call to do so, to really go within and analyze the experience that has happened and what is it that you have learned from it. Not to put the blame on everyone else, but to understand it's not a blame game. It's not about who did what or whatever. It's about, what can I learn from this situation? Like, who am I? How do I react to circumstances and stress? And what are my coping mechanisms? How can I be a better version of myself? Those are the questions that we need to be asking ourselves, instead of like, does this person forgive me? And, you know, I'm a piece of shit because I did this, and this, but, you know, I learned from it, but I'm still a piece of shit. No. If you learned from it, then move away from that energy and stop letting it eat away at your thoughts. Because then you're just perpetuating that energy, and you're not being the empress with yourself. You're not being kind and compassionate to yourself. And it is very important for us to do that for ourselves. Again, you're either your greatest ally or your worst foe. And that really is true. That really is true. You can tell the kind of person that someone is, how they talk to themselves. You can tell right away how someone talks to themselves based on the kind of person that they are. Are they confident in themselves? Are they confident in expressing their truth? because then you can see, their thoughts for themselves must be more respectful and more compassionate to themselves than someone who, for example, always has their head down and is always in a negative mind state and is always easily offended, easily triggered. You can tell that those are the people who are not stable in their mind. And that's not to say that they're bad people. It's not to say, oh, well, they're like this and blah, blah, blah. Like, we all have been there. And at some point, if not, then we will be there at some point in our life. It's about learning to move past that. To learn to be compassionate within yourself and to talk to yourself how you would want people to talk to you. And that's something that some people don't seem to understand. It's like, treat others how you want to be treated. Yes. But you also have to treat yourself how you expect other people to treat you. So if you're talking to yourself with some shitty fucking attitude, like, oh, well, I'm just a bitch and I'm just worthless and I'm blah, blah, blah. First of all, that's bullshit. So stop lying to yourself. And second of all, you need to understand and take responsibility for those kind of thoughts. If you're wondering, why am I always, so tired? Why do I lack so much energy? Why is it that I can't just be happy when I'm in a circumstance that I should be happy? Go within and figure out, is it because of your thoughts? Because I've been in situations, for example, where I'm happy around a group of people and I feel happy. But it has happened to me in the past that being around a group of people, I start getting in my own head and then I start having a bad time. And I know that we have all been there at some point or another. So again, it goes to show that your thoughts create your reality. And if you're always thinking negative thoughts, then you're always going to be in a negative mood. So really move away from that and be compassionate with yourself, because you deserve to. Let's see here. The Three of Wands. This to me is a reunion card because of the imagery. I don't remember all of the messages from the book or anything, but I do think that this one was literally like a family member passed away and they wanted to see them again or something. So in this deck, this is a reunion card. But this is making me think of all of the happy times, when we are faced with the memories in our life that make us feel dead, that make us feel lacking in energy and all of this stuff, that make us feel like we have nothing. We need to remember the memories that have brought us peace, the memories that have brought us hope. Because those are the memories, those are the things that bring us closer to each other. Is to focus on the good times. That does not mean that there have not been any bad times. That does not mean to be naive to real life situations. It just means, again, to take responsibility for where your thoughts go. Do you want to focus on the fact that someone has left your life? And if you have lost a family member, my deepest condolences to you and to your family and to your loved ones. If you have lost a family member, or if you have lost someone special to you, then perhaps this is them, by extension, saying, don't Don't remember me at my worst. Remember me at my best, is what I'm getting the feeling of. So if you have a grandparent who passed away, or a father figure perhaps, or a family member or a best friend, someone who was wise or who shared things with you, even if they did not live necessarily the best life, or even if they did not always treat you in the best way, I could see this as them potentially asking for forgiveness. This could be them in a way asking for you to forgive them and to understand that, what they really wanted was peace. And perhaps they didn't have the best way of showing that. And again, that's not to say that what someone did was okay. It just means to understand that, we are all, we are multifaceted beings. And sometimes we let the worst parts of us get the best of us. So this card was in reverse. The Three of Wands is about viewing. Let me think of this. Viewing things with an open mind enough to see where you want to take the next steps in your life. And what I'm seeing here is a need or a suggestion, because we all have free wills. So if you want to be the kind of person to hold grudges, then you're going to be the kind of person to hold grudges. It's until you decide that that's an energy that you don't want anymore, and that you do everything in your power to release those grudges. That is your free will, though. If you want to be that kind of person, then you probably already are. And if you don't want to be that kind of person, then know that you can change that within yourself. It is possible, no matter how long you have been in the energy of holding grudges with people. You can learn to forgive yourself and other people in your life. And what I'm seeing here again is a call for forgiveness. A call to understand that you deserve to forgive yourself first and foremost for the situations that you have done, as long as you have learned from it. That's what I'm going to say, because we have these situations in our life to teach us to be aware of who we are and to be aware of how we handle situations, in order for us to learn and to move away from those kind of situations of us holding grudges against people or ourselves, and to, have that kind of mentality. This is saying to me here with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse as well. This is saying to me that when we don't forgive people in our lives, whether it's ourselves and or other people, we are stuck in cycles, vicious cycles in our own mind. What I'm seeing here is like they're floating, but it's kind of giving me this like this imagery of the moon. What I'm seeing in my head is kind of like an ocean with a moon in the background, and the moon is light. I'm seeing like a full moon with the waves, and you see how the light of the moon reflects off of the water. That's kind of the feeling that I'm getting from this card. And knowing that the moon's phases do change the tides of the waves. The moon's phases, the moon is a very strong energy. I mean, it's a planet, of course. The moon goes around us. its energy, its magnetic pull changes our circumstances. It changes the frequency around us. It literally creates waves. That is how powerful the energy is. The closer the moon is to the earth, isn't it the bigger the waves, the stronger the waves? I'm kind of getting sidetracked, but I'm seeing here something with the moon. So if you wanted to work with the moon, then I would definitely say to do so. Or if you don't know much about the moon, then perhaps, this is something that you can look into. The moon phases and how they interact with us in our life. For example, like how a full moon is the perfect time to banish negative energy and to transform energy from one thing to another. Whereas a new moon energy is to bring in new to your life. So the way that I see it is like the full moon is great for endings, whereas a new moon is that energy where things are ripe. And we see like with the bellies here, I'm seeing like ripe for creation. Ripe for creation. But going back here, what I'm seeing about this message of forgiveness is that when we choose not to forgive ourselves or people in our lives, we are staying stuck in this perpetual energy of living the same circumstances. And that's kind of the feeling that I'm getting from this card. It's like these beings are just floating through their life. They're being drawn by a current. It may be hard to see. They're being drawn by this current. But it seems like they're just mindlessly walking and following that current. And it's one after another. How many are there? Who knows? What I'm seeing here is when we don't forgive ourselves and people around us, we're not stepping into the magician energy, because the magician is someone who transforms energy, who transforms negative energy into positive, constructive energy ready for creation. But with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, this to me is saying like this is a blockage. It's hard to step into the power of the magician when we are stuck in cycles in our head about holding grudges against ourselves or other people, because again, with the magician has control over his or her thoughts. The magician knows the power of their thoughts. So when you're so busy in your head about being angry towards someone or yourself, you are not being in that magician power. You're actually taking away from your power and instead perpetuating cycles in your life that you know need to change, or that you want to change them. But perhaps you're feeling stuck because you don't know what is keeping you from this energy. You want to step into this energy, but do not realize the things in your life that are creating vicious cycles that are keeping you from that. And how to change that? Again, with this Empress energy. To forgive yourself, to step into your own power, to be your own healer, to be your own greatest ally. That is how you become the magician. You start to know your worth. When you know your worth, you don't let people talk to you like assholes. You don't let people walk all over you. You don't let people use you. That is someone in the magician power. That is someone who understands how to talk to themselves. And that is the only way. Because when we're not in that energy, when we want to manifest, we have all of these things that block our energy. Even if we really want to manifest something, when we're not in our own power, we still have blockages within us that keep us from manifesting. And what does that do to us? It makes us feel like we're not good enough, or we're not powerful enough, that we don't have the tools necessary, because our goals are not coming to fruition. And it's not coming into fruition because there are blockages that need to be moved out of the way before everything that we hope and desire for can start to manifest in our life. With the 10 of Cups in reverse, I'm seeing this as like, there really is a desire for emotional fulfillment. There's a desire here, and we have the 3 of Pentacles, which we see the 3 skulls in the front. So it's making me think of, you do have this desire within you to work with people, to work better with yourself, and to find this emotional abundance and fulfillment. To follow your heart, because your heart is what leads you to the sun. The sun is the happiest card in the deck, people say. And what I'm seeing here is, and I mentioned this in my last reading, your heart is what leads you to your happiness. Your heart is the purest form, how can I say? The way that I see the heart is kind of like our, how can I say? The physical manifestation of our soul. Our soul is connected to our heart. Why is it that when people say follow your heart, follow your dreams, you know, your heart will never lead you astray? That is because your heart is the most purest part of you. And the most purest part of who we are is our soul. Because our body, the flesh, it just lives and dies. It's just going to wither away. So we are immortal in a sense, that our energy continues on beyond our physical body. Our heart is, to me, that gateway to our soul. It's like the eyes, you know how they say the eyes are the gateway to the soul? The way that I see it it's like your soul is in a, let's say, is behind a gate. And let's say the gate is, in a sense, when someone looks into your eyes, they're seeing your soul through the gate. So they're catching glimpses of it. Whereas when you're in your heart space, it is like that gate opens up. And there is no more pure aspect of who we are than what it is that our heart desires, if that makes sense. So again, there's this calling to follow your heart, is what I'm seeing here. I'm sorry if you hear sounds in the background. Sorry about that. People are waking up. So, anyway, let's continue to the Queen of Wands. This is kind of the imagery this is kind of reminding me of the imagery that I was seeing in my head earlier. We have like a lake here, we have the moon. It's important to analyze our actions. I keep getting that. Look in the mirror to see our own reflection, is what I'm trying to say. We want to manifest the things in our lives that bring us happiness. I'm sorry, just the glare. I'm sorry for the glare. Again, we want to follow our happiness. And here with the Magician, again, to open up our heart space, to move forward into our true desires, to reflect upon what it is that we really desire, to reflect upon what it is that we really want, because the moon really teaches us to go within and to really look within ourselves, to analyze ourselves. And again, I will always say it's important to remember not to be an asshole about what you find. It's important to be compassionate with yourself. And that is the way that you learn to heal past heartaches, past traumas, past disappointments. You learn to heal it by being kind to yourself about it, being compassionate about it. And again, it's okay to forgive yourself about things that, the fuck ups in life that we have done. It's okay to forgive ourselves as long as we have learned from that and we don't keep perpetuating that. We don't keep putting people through that kind of energy. And we don't allow other people to be putting us through that energy either. The Seven of Swords, I'm definitely seeing this is a walking away from people, places, things that make us feel dead, that make us feel vengeful, that make us feel resentment, that make us feel angry or sad towards a situation because of people walking away in our lives. See, there's like a bunch of people in the background, and there's like one kind of leading the way. So what I'm seeing here is like, if someone has left you and it makes you feel clouded and it makes you struggle to see the truth within yourself, to really be able to reflect upon who we are. When we feel clouded in our mind and where we are not able to look into the mirror and reflect upon ourselves, we are essentially keeping ourselves in the dark. It's important to release those clouds, release that tension, to move them away. The distractions that don't let us see who we really are, the distractions that do not let us step into our own power, the past that haunts us, where we feel left behind by people in our life, or where we have left people in our life behind. This energy is kind of giving me the vibes of the Eight of Swords, because of the swords that are standing up here and this corpse that is kind of amongst them. The Eight of Swords is the card where there is someone who is bound and has a blindfold over their eyes, and they're surrounded by swords. What that means is that we are a prisoner of our own thoughts. Going back to this, right? Bless you. We are the prisoner of our own thoughts. If we choose to be, and it is a choice, being an adult, it is important for us to realize that it is a choice. It is. That doesn't mean that it is easy choice to make, to just, not care about things. It's still hard. Things that bring us pain. But it's up to us to choose how we handle that pain and how we cope with it and how we move on from that. Or if you choose not to move on from it, it's just going to haunt you, and that's your choice. That doesn't mean it's an easy choice. That does not mean that it is a choice that you are actively making. No one wants to fucking be stuck in their head, perpetuating these negative cycles. No one wants that shit. It's not easy. That's the truth. But also the truth is that as an adult, it is our responsibility to take control of our own lives. That is the magician. Someone who takes responsibility for themselves and their actions and their perspectives and all of that. They work to change the things about themselves that need to be changed in order to become a better version of themselves. And they forgive and they move on. They release the negative energy that keeps them behind and they move on. And that is how they're able to transform and transmute these energies, because they understand that it is their responsibility to do so. I saw 5155. Really analyzing your thought patterns and realizing, catching those blockages, those thought patterns that keep you stuck. Like the 8 of Swords. And this is the 7 though. So what I'm seeing here is, do not be blind to self-deception. Like the 8 of Swords. The 7 of Swords is about deception. The 8 of Swords is about mental imprisonment, self-imposed imprisonment. And so with the 7 of Swords, I'm also getting the 8 of Swords energy, and I'm seeing them together. It is up to you to... Was this card in reverse or was it upright? I think it was in reverse. I'm sorry, I don't remember now. But regardless, it's the same message that I'm getting, reversed or not. But obviously, it is a call to move away from those mental prisons, and to release that in order to allow the clouds to roll away and to allow the moon to shine so that we can analyze it, and so that we can work through it and we can work with what we have. Speaking of working with what we have, here's the 3 of Pentacles, which is about working together, working with people. And I'm seeing this as a need to work with yourself. You need to be able to be self-motivated. You need to be able to be confident within yourself. You need to be able to stand alone before you can stand with someone else. So I'm kind of seeing that as like a message here is about realizing these blockages and these patterns within yourself that keep you stuck, that keep you away from this energy of stepping into your own power. You want to work with other people, you have to be able to work with yourself first. Because by the end of the day, we have to be able to go to sleep. With or without someone by our side. By the end of the day, we have to motivate ourselves to accomplish our dreams and aspirations, whether or not we are supported. At the end of the day, it is up to us to get off our ass and to make our dreams come true. Because at the end of the day, what we do with our life is what is creating our life. And if we do nothing with our life and just sit there and hope and pray for it, nothing's going to happen. Because the universe doesn't just hand you everything. Because imagine if the universe literally just gave everyone what they wanted without people having to do shit for it. Imagine how things would be. But that is not how things are. The fact of the matter is that the universe meets us halfway. Think of the frequency of the universe as the highest, most purest frequency, and our frequency tainted by our own thoughts and actions. So when we want something from the universe has to meet us halfway. They cannot just hand everything to us. That's not what life is about. And if you want life to be easy, it's not going to be easy. It doesn't matter how badly you want it to be easy. It's not going to fucking happen. Because everyone has free will. And you will not have your life handed to you. The universe doesn't just hand everything to anybody. You have to prove that you know that you deserve the best. You have to prove it to yourself. When you prove it to yourself, the universe sees it. The universe feels it, and it knows no difference. And the universe will meet you halfway when you start to take the steps necessary to create what it is that you desire. That is the truth that I'm seeing. Get out of your head and know that you are worthy and you are capable. And that you are capable of breaking these vicious cycles in your own mind. You are capable of working with yourself. But again, you need to be able to motivate yourself. And you need to be able to work with yourself in order for you to be able to extend that energy to other people around you. People who want to collaborate with you. With the Hanged Man under the deck, we have the Hanged Man, the King of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords, and the High Priestess. And look, under that is the Lovers, and the Eight of Wands, and the High Priest. Damn, and Justice. Okay. With the okay. Now I'm getting a lot of cards. All right. Let me see what I'm getting here. Changes. With the Star in reverse as well. These are the cards that we have underneath the deck. All of these cards. Tower. The Tower is a card that is scary to many people. Just the energy of that is scary. Imagine being there. But imagine surviving that. When you survive an experience in your life where your life has nearly been taken right before your eyes, you're faced with a decision. Do I want to live my life in the same mundane way as I have before? Do I want to live my life in the way that has not worked before? Because I have heard from people who have had near-death experiences, people who I've known in real life, and people who I've heard their stories online, or I've read about their stories or something like that. A common theme within people who have near-death experiences, who come back, or who are still alive, let's say, you know, their life changes to where they're like, okay, I don't have time to fucking deal with all this bullshit drama. I don't have time to be telling myself I'm not good enough. It's time to fucking make it work, to make it happen. The people in life who nearly have had their life taken right before their eyes are the people who really do take the most responsibility for their life, because they know that life can go in a blink of an eye. So when they have survived, when we survived the tower moments in our life, we are forced into having a decision be made. And look at the moon. Oh my god. We're forced with a decision. The Two of Swords. A decision to either move forward into the things that make us the happiest, the things that we want to create, the cycles that we experience in our own life. It's our choice to be in that energy of the sun or the energy of the moon. And look, we have them right now. We have the Two of Swords, and it was like this. We have the Two of Swords is making a decision, and literally we have the sun and the moon here. You choose night or day. You choose to either allow the things, the situations in your life that put you in this labyrinth. It's up to you to get lost in there, or to follow the sun and the moon and the stars. Your hope, your dreams, your aspirations, your truth, your intuition. It's up to you to follow the sun, the moon, the stars, or to ignore them and be lost in the labyrinth. Life is a journey. And the hardest part of this journey is to realize the depth of who we are, because we will never truly understand the depth of who we are. But the journey of life is beautiful when we choose to see it that way. And that is a choice. It is a choice. No matter what it is that you've gone through in your life. And I've known people who have been abused. I've known people who have, trigger warning, I should have mentioned that. I've known people who've been abused. I've known people who've been raped. I've known people who've been neglected, who've been taken advantage of. People who literally have had family members murdered in brutal, disgusting fucking ways. And I myself have had shitty experiences too. We all have experienced something. And it is up to all of us to make the decision to choose between letting our past haunt us, to perpetuate that victimized mentality, or to move forward. Going back here, again, how I mentioned earlier about the tower. But here's the star. The star is about hopes, dreams, aspirations. The star is about following your true north. The star is about seeking. The star is about finding. I see 3 people here again. 3 is the number of manifestation. 3, there's like 3 light sources. We choose where we want our lives to go, and we choose the people who are in our lives. And in certain ways, I mean, you can't choose specific people, you know, there are certain circumstances that, you know, you can't choose your boss. You can't choose your blood family. You can't choose, you know, certain things, but you can choose who you give your time to, whether they're family, friends, or otherwise. You can choose to stay away from negative energy, no matter who they are in your life, family, friends, etc., coworkers. Or you can choose to allow that energy to manipulate and to drain you. But it's important to follow your inner compass and to release. And I talk about this a lot, to release the people, places, things in your life that no longer resonate with you. And here with the Knight of Wands in reverse, I'm seeing this as like, we sometimes put ourselves in this state. This is making me think of the Hanged Man, which I know that the Hanged Man came out right here. This is reaffirming that energy, that sometimes we need to really evaluate our own cycles and really evaluate, you know, the things and the people in our lives. Are these people who are trying to support us? Or are these people who are just watching with their phone out and videotaping you literally almost dying? You know what I mean? What kind of people do you want in your life? The ones that are just spectators and just watching you suffer, watching you go through whatever it is that you're going through? Or the people in your life where they're going through it with you? And you know, it's understandable that people get busy. It's understandable that people have their own things to do. But you can tell the kind of people who are like this in your life, because they're always going to be like that, or the kind of people who are like this in your life. And if this is you, what do you choose? To me, it's a no-brainer. And like, we have the moon energy again. And he's like looking at the moon. You need to face the facts. You need to use your intuition. You need to face yourself within and determine the cycles that you perpetuate in your life and the people who you allow in your life who don't help you progress in your own life. And the Tower moment is a release of those things. Going back over here, let's see, the Hangman. Again, it's that energy of, what do you choose? Because the choice is up to you. You see, here we have a skeleton. And here we have this man. And it looks like he's going forward. And there's this electric energy. There's this electric energy. This magnetic pull towards something new, in creating something new. This is making me think of yin and yang, which is funny because I'm actually wearing like a yin yang thing. Again, with this energy, it is up to us to choose, to move forward. It kind of looks like, it kind of makes me think of someone swimming. It's up to us to move ourselves forward, or to stay stagnant and to rot in our own filth. I know that was not a nice descriptor or description, but that's what came to my mind. It's up to us to allow the negative energies to really destroy us, or to release it, like the tower, to just fucking let it go, to let it fucking fall and die on its own, and to use the momentum. I saw straight ones, 1 hour, 11 minutes, 10, 11 seconds. One is the start. One is the beginning. And I saw 23. One is the beginning where we are able to view things with a new lens. One is where we are able to decide which direction we want to take. When you have an ace of anything, of any of the suits, that is a new beginning. It is up to you to take that new beginning or not. With every end comes a new beginning. But it is up to us to make that decision, the lovers, to make that decision to move forward or not. This card, I'm not sure if this is the meaning, if she's being kidnapped or whatever, I'm not sure. But the vibe that I'm getting from this is eloping. When you really want something, it's up to you to make it happen, with or without the approval of other people. And if you're doing something, do as I will, harm none, but take no shit. As long as you're not harming other people, you deserve to pursue your desires. As long as you're not harming other people, you deserve to have that new beginning. But sometimes you literally have to go out there. Well, I mean, I say sometimes, but really in all actuality, all the time, you have to literally go out there and make it happen. So what is eloping? Eloping is to run away with somebody, right? I'm not saying to run away. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying to, do something reckless. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is, when you really love somebody, when you really love something, when you really have that passion, that fuel, that drive, that motivation in your heart, no one can stand in your way. It's up to you. For example, Romeo and Juliet, right? It is a sad, tragic story. However, Romeo and Juliet wanted to live a life together, that they even defied their own family in order to come together and elope. That's what I'm saying. With or without the approval of anyone around them, they knew in their heart that they loved each other. They knew in their heart that it was real, more real than anything that they have ever experienced before. And so they made the decision to move forward together. So again, what I'm seeing here is, it's up to you. And as long as you're not harming other people, you have all right to pursue your dreams. Now, again, I'm not saying to elope, I'm not saying to run away, I'm saying to take responsibility for your own actions, but I'm also saying to honor your heart. Honor what it is that is inside you, because it is inside you for a reason. The King of Pentacles is about providing stability. The King of Pentacles is someone who has their shit together, someone who is stable, someone who knows what they want, and someone who's going to do what they need to in order to make it happen. With the Eight of Wands, I'm seeing, again, are you going to move forward or not? Is up to you. With the Ten of Swords, is like, are you perpetuating these cycles? And again, it's like the same messages coming out. Move away from the pain, move away from the heartache, move away from the things that make you feel like this monster. We have the High Priest and the High Priestess here. So this is a divine couple. I'm not saying that this is specifically in regards to love. It could be. The High Priest in other decks is known as the Hierophant. But in reality, the High Priest, the Hierophant, and the High Priestess are counterparts. There's this energy that you have the wisdom within you. You have all these seeds that you have been planting around you. What kind of seeds are they? Are they seeds of doubt and fear? Are they seeds of newness? Seeds of hope? Seeds of you following your dreams and aspirations? You following your heart? Because here we have, again, we see like an energy in the heart chakra. The secrets are in your heart. You need to follow your intuition in order to come into union with yourself, in order to come into balance with yourself. That's what I'm seeing here. And with the High Priestess and the High Priest, again, you know, you have it within you. You have what you need. You just need to get out of your own fucking way and step into that power of the High Priest and the High Priestess, the power of the Magician, the power of the Empress. The Empress is someone who's so fucking powerful. And I don't think that this is really expressed enough. You know how fucking hard it is to be loving, caring, compassionate, as much as you can? Especially when shit has happened to you in your life that make you want to be bitter. But when you refuse to be bitter and you choose to remain in that Empress energy, you are fucking powerful. And that's something that I feel like people don't say enough. The Empress is someone who is very powerful. It's like, kill him with kindness. I'm not saying to kill people, okay? But my point is, you can either be a bitch about something, or you can be kind. And it is way harder to be kind in a situation where we feel like we have been mistreated, where we feel like we have been used, where we feel like we have been misunderstood, and we're not given the chance to explain, or we are explaining and we're still being misunderstood. Being in that Empress energy is not easy. It's not easy to remain in that energy. because it is always harder to be it is always easier to be a bad person, to be negative and to be bitter and to be angry at the world and woe is me and I hate everything because people suck and blah blah blah. It's easy to be that kind of person. It's very easy. Because hurt people hurt people. And if you allow your pain to consume you, that is what you will be. That bitter, angry person. But what you deserve for yourself is to be the empress for yourself and by extension for people around you. Step into this energy of balance, of trusting yourself, of believing your intuition, of trusting your intuition, of trusting your guidance that is in your heart, the thoughts in your mind that when you are creative, the thoughts that come up in your mind that want you to create and pursue your dreams. Know that you do deserve it. You deserve to elope with your dreams. If that makes sense. You deserve to make your dreams come true. No matter who, what, says what. Doesn't matter. Again, as long as you're not harming other people, as long as you're not harming any other living creature, then you deserve and all right to pursue what it is that you desire. With justice here, it was in reverse, but I'm seeing here again is a need for balance. And when you look really closely, you do see like there's this circle of light and this circle of dark. So again, yin-yang energy, balance energy, high priestess and high priest energy. It's up to us to balance the scales. And that is what justice is. It's balancing the scales. That's that Libra energy, right? We can choose to be cold, or we can choose to allow the warmth of the sun to unfrost or defrost our heart. But as with everything in our life that we have control over, it is our choice. You can either be more one side than the other, or you can try to be balanced and try to be understanding of it's not good and evil. It's not this person against that person. It's about two energies that are just different. Two energies that are within each and every single fucking person that has ever been born. Even the Pope got some dark energy. You know what I'm saying? No one is past it. We all have it within us. And it is up to us to choose which side we want to be on. And personally, I think the best thing to do is to find balance. Again, it's not about sides. It's about finding out who you are, what energy works for you, what leads you to your dreams and aspirations, what inspires you. And to go with that, as long as you're not harming anyone else, as long as you're not harming any other creature, living creature. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to start going into oracle cards. I think this was a really long tarot section of this reading. All right. We have vision. Trust in your ability to create the vision of your soul. And this is exactly what I have been talking about. You are the magician. What is it that you want to create in your life? Blue star. Follow the light of your inner compass, the blue star. It will lead you to the truth that resides within your soul. And that makes me think back to the message that I mentioned earlier about the heart. The heart is the true compass of the soul. The heart is what leads you to your truth. This card to me, even though it's the blue star, is making me think of the heart chakra, green energy. Even though it says blue, I always feel this green energy with that card. This card, vision. You co-create with the universe. What is it that you're co-creating? What is it that you want to transpire? What is it, if you could inspire people, what is it that you would inspire them to do? Who would you inspire them to be? Go with the flow. But you have to also have some kind of vision. Going with the flow doesn't mean to literally just have no thought in mind, no sense of direction. Going with the flow, to me, it is important to have a sense of direction, but it's okay to get lost in discovering more, right? Because the more maze that we go through, the bigger we realize that the maze of life is. All these paths, all these twists, all these turns. If you go into a maze without a map, good luck. Now, if you go into the maze with at least some of the map, you can continue to draw the rest as you go. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, it's important to be in that energy of new experiences, of allowing new energy to come into our life, but it is also important to have some sense of direction. And whenever you're in doubt of what direction you should take, you need to go within and trust your heart. Follow the light of your inner compass, to me, meaning the heart, the blue star. It will lead you to the truth that resides within your soul. And wasn't I mentioning earlier how I feel like the heart is the gateway to the soul, the true gateway to the soul? Behind here we do see the star, the guiding light. You should follow your North Star. You should follow the star that it is that your heart is leading you to. In truth, see your light, know your power, have the courage to walk your truth. Definitely, it's saying to me here, it is reaffirming the message of stepping into the magician power, stepping into your own power, stepping into that energy of the magician. When you follow your truth and you have the courage to do so, you are stepping into that power that is already within you. You just need to dust it off and start to use it to your advantage. I'm going to pull this card. We see here like a gateway. What this is making me think of is actually, now that I think about it, it's making me think of how I mentioned earlier, literally how I was like, I feel like the heart is, looking through someone's eyes is to only see a part of the soul. Because they say, the eyes are the gateway to the soul, but really the heart is the gateway to the soul. The eyes is just like you're looking through a window. But when you go through the heart, you are literally opening up that doorway. And we see in the back, there's still this lunar energy. There's like a moon or a planet or something, making me think back to cycles. But let's see what this card is. Advancement. A strong energy is propelling you forward. Follow the steerings of your heart. Advancement. That is how you advance in life, is by following your inner truth, by following your inner compass, by following your light, by following your desires, your hopes and dreams. Advancing in life is about raising your frequency. Advancing in life is about accomplishing the goals, the tasks that you have set for yourself. I think in my last reading I mentioned a little bit about like spiritual awakening, and this is making me think of that as well. So know, if you are going through a spiritual awakening, the process is not easy, but you have support, and there are people out there who have already experienced it. There are people out there who share their vision, who share the knowledge, who share the truth that they have learned, and who want to share that with other people so that they also can be better informed. I saw 3131. So that they can be better informed of the decisions and the process. You know, it's hard that a part of the process in a spiritual awakening is to release energies around us, people, places, things that no longer serve us. I don't like to say it that way. You know, I don't think anyone is serving anything, you know what I mean? To me, the best way to say it is when our frequencies no longer match. That's what I'm getting there. And under here we have light. It is time to reveal your radiant light to the world. And we have ascension. Your soul is evolving to higher states of consciousness. You are ready for this. Wow. I mentioned a little bit about spiritual awakening, and here with advancement and ascension and vision, I'm definitely seeing that this is a high probability that this is something that you're going through. Even if you're not a spiritual person, there are people who are not spiritual. There are people who are not religious, who don't even dabble in any magical woo-woo stuff, who have spiritual awakenings come out of nowhere. There are people who have been in accidents, for example, or traumatic experiences, for example, that end up going through a spiritual awakening because of the experiences that are in their life. I cannot say for certain why these people do, but it is destined for them. It is with a reason, and it is a path for them. I saw a bunch of threes, making me think back to the magician. Let's see what this says here. Free spirit. To be a free spirit is to float without walls, to fly without judgment, and to love without conditions. To float without walls is to say that in order for you to be free, you have to release your own walls. We put walls around our heart because of pain. But to be a free spirit, we have to let down those walls in order for us to love without condition, to love without judgment, in order to even allow that energy to come back in the first place. And without judgment, is making me think back to how I mentioned it's important for us to forgive ourselves and forgive other people. It's like we already know, we've already acknowledged that, what I did or what you did, was wrong. Now let's move past that. We learned from it, right? And if you haven't learned from it, then it's a call to do so. Don't be surprised of negative, stale energy if you refuse to move past the energy that is you blocking your heart. In order to move past with an Empress energy, you cannot have judgment when you are showing yourself love and showing love to other people. Because when you have judgment, you kill it. And boy, I'm speaking from experience too. You cannot face yourself and people around you with judgment, because they ain't gonna stick around, and they shouldn't. And you shouldn't stick around those kind of people either. We are free spirits. We cannot be controlled or confined by other people unless we give them that power. All of this reading is about stepping into your own power. The very first card that came out was the Magician card. This whole reading is about stepping into your own power and taking responsibility. How do they say? The quote goes, with great power comes great responsibility. Yes, it's so fucking true. It's so true. Wisdom. See your adversaries as opportunities to expand your spiritual light. This card came out in the last reading too. View the situations in your life not with judgment and anger, but as an opportunity to learn and to grow. That is true wisdom. And that is a choice. It is up to us. That is our choice. You see what's back here. A radiant light in a sea of clouds is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Amongst all of the confusion in your day-to-day life, amongst all of the things that people say, all of the voices ringing in our ears, it is up to you. You are the guiding light in your own life, if you choose to be. And it's important for you to choose to be that guiding light for yourself. That is a choice. By staying conscious in your thoughts, you guide your journey in the direction of choice. That is exactly what I was talking about that magician earlier. It is a conscious decision, a conscious effort to be aware of our thoughts and to take the path that we choose to take, but to take responsibility in that choice. And this is making me think of the sun. Isn't this the symbol of the sun? Is a circle with a dot inside? Follow your happiness. Follow the things that light you up. That is the truth. That is the light within you. That is the vision within your heart that is trying to tell you it's your choice. You are a free spirit. The divine cannot force you to take a path or make a decision. You have to decide that for yourself. Take responsibility for that. I'm sorry for all of the sounds going on. Our internet is kind of bad right now, so I couldn't put like nature sounds, and you can hear like absolutely everything. I'm sorry about that. So Let's see. It's very interesting because I feel like a lot of the readings that I have been doing since I started my YouTube channel have been very much so stressing this message of you are the magician. You need to take responsibility for your own life and your own actions. To step into your power, not to give it away. And look, this card has been coming out many times, I feel like, in my readings, and it's just restating the same energy. It's time to release negativity. I feel like there is a lot going on in the collective right now that needs to be healed. And a lot of people, I feel like, are doing what they can to step into their power, to take their power back from, organized whatevers, religion or government or whatever you want to say. Taking power back from other people and to step into our own power and to realize that our power is our own. It is our responsibility, but also it is our power, not anyone else's. They have their own power, and that is what they choose for it to be. But so do you. You have your own power, but it's up to you. This card wanted to flip out. It's up to you to reach... Oh. We have double Scorpio here. It's time to release negativity and work through your fears. Maybe you're a Scorpio, or maybe you have a lot of Scorpio in your chart. Like for me personally, I'm an Aries sun, an Aquarius moon. I believe my ascending is Gemini, but I have three placements in Scorpio, and I have like 3 placements in Pisces. So I do have quite a bit of water in my chart. But what I'm seeing here, maybe there's a lot of water in your chart as well, or maybe you're Scorpio, sun, moon, or whatever in your chart. Maybe you're dealing with a Scorpio. But definitely what I'm feeling here is a dark energy. And I'm not saying evil energy. There's a big difference. A need to go within. A need to look in the mirror. And a need to see what poisonous, venomous thoughts that we are telling ourselves. What are we telling ourselves that is keeping ourselves from stepping into that power where we make the choices in our life? Underneath it says, have faith in your dreams. Know that you deserve to be happy. Know that you deserve to pursue what it is that brings you happiness. Again, as long as you're not harming anyone. Let's see if I can get one more of these. Moonology. I feel like this one wants to come out. The energy is gaining momentum. So know that, again, like I mentioned earlier with the Magician card, whether you take responsibility for your thoughts or not, your thoughts are still creating your reality. Whether you want it to be true or not, it is the truth. That is the truth. That's how it works. Because a lot of people don't realize you are the magician of your own life, and your thoughts create your reality. Whether you accept or deny that is your responsibility. That's your choice. That's all on you. But even if you don't believe it to be true, what harm does it do you to step into that and to learn to believe it? Because really the only harm that it can do is what? Make you responsible for your own actions? That's not harm. That's actually an amazing thing to learn that many people do not learn, because many people will refuse and refuse and refuse to take responsibility for their own shit. And they'd rather blame everyone and everything else in their life. Oh, well, because I was treated like shit growing up, and because, you know, my family wasn't around. And that's understandable. That is not your fault, what happened to you. The way that people have treated you or made fun of you, I've been made fun of before. I've been used many times before. I've been lied to many times before, and I'm sure you have too. I've had other experiences that are worse than what I'm mentioning before too. But I learned to take responsibility for my own shit. To stop giving that power away to people who've hurt me, people who've used me, people who've talked shit to me. So the fuck what? Those experiences have made me who I am. Because I chose to learn from it and to grow from it. And why am I saying this? So that you can do the same thing. If you're not already, to know that shit, if it's possible for me, someone who at some point had literally no self-esteem, someone who at some point literally just saw nothing of my own life, your life is your choice. And you need to stop being in denial. You need to stop giving your power away. You need to take responsibility for your own life and your own healing with the moon. The moon also symbolizes healing, and there were a lot of moons in this reading. Release the fear, release the negativity, release the things holding you back. Don't be venomous and poisonous to yourself. You have free will, but the choice is yours. Remember we had the choice card? Can't see it because of the glare. Choice. The decision is yours and yours alone. A fiery climax approaches underneath. Sorry. This is really, to me, symbolizing diving into what it is that you desire. Because the ram is going to do everything in its power to remove the obstacles in its life. The ram is going to face challenges head on. It's also making me think of Leo energy as well, another fire sign to Aries. Courageousness, bravery. You need to be brave and courageous in your path. You need to move away obstacles that burden you. I'm also seeing, because we Aries can be fucking stubborn. I know a lot of signs can be stubborn. I'm talking to you, everyone. I'm talking to myself too. I think we can all be fucking stubborn, can't we? Anyway, it's important for us to, again, make the decision. Not to butt heads with people, not to fight fire with fire. And that's coming from a fire sign. But to instead You know, show the world the real you. And how do you soothe water? How do you calm water? How do you calm water? How do you extinguish a fire of anger? Oh, look. And I was talking about Leo earlier. With water. With water, you can extinguish fire. Hate, negativity, anger, judgment. Show the world the real you. Be real with yourself and the people around you. Don't be prideful. Like, it's okay to have pride in, like, in the experiences that you've had, and to be like, you know, I have accomplished, you know, XYZ, and I am proud of that. You can pat yourself on the back, and you should. But not to get all up in your head about it, is what I'm seeing. So let's see. I may pull from 2 other decks. Let's see. This one's been calling me a lot lately, I feel. I was literally about to ask, what message do you have for us? Compassion. Fucking passion. I'm sorry. What was I saying earlier about the Empress? What was I saying earlier about forgiveness? About forgiving ourselves and forgiving other people. Showing compassion. Compassion. It's like when you learn to show compassion to people around you. Like underneath we have grieving. When you start to show compassion to the people around you, to the circumstances that are going on in your life, when you extend that energy of compassion to yourself and people around you, you're opening up yourself to endless possibilities. They say love is the highest frequency of all. When you plant the seeds of love and compassion and forgiveness and understanding to yourself and the people around you, you're planting seeds of hope and beauty to the people around you. Planting seeds of the universal energy that we are all one, we are all connected, we are all divine. We are all deserving. We all have the same possible energy within us. It is just up to us to step into that power or not. And with grieving, what I'm seeing is it's okay to release people and places and things in your life. That is a part of the challenge. That is a part of the change in life about that tower. And how I mentioned earlier, are you going to let people, what was it? What was the card? The Hanged Man? I think it was. No, it was a different card. What card was it? No. Now I want to know. I think it was the Three of Swords or something. I don't remember. Was it under here card? Anyway, it was the card that I was saying that there's a person dangling, a dangly person, and I'm like, you choose. Oh, this one. I'm sorry, the Knight of Wands. You choose if you want people around you, what kind of people around you want, the people who are supportive or the people who are just going to stand and watch you fall to your death, or the people who are going to do everything in their power to weaken your fall. Obviously, they can't literally catch you, but they'll do everything that they can to support you and to lessen the fall. Whereas other people in your life are just watching with their phone, videotaping like mindless zombies. Because unfortunately, that's what people do these days. They'd rather watch people fight and just, oh, look, there's a fight going on. Oh, look, there's someone who's gonna do something. Let me just take out my phone and video record instead of actually trying to help. Grieving, it's okay to grieve the people, places, things that you need to release in your life. But after you grieve it, that is the process of allowing yourself to feel whatever it is. But it's important to understand that that is a transformative energy. After you grieve, you have the choice to transform that energy from grieving to something new, because every end comes a new beginning, or to just stay in that grieving energy, which no one should do. It's important for us all to learn to move past those grieving stages of our life and to be compassionate with ourselves and with the people in our lives. You see what these cards are. I'm sorry, I'm moving around a lot. Well-being, you need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of your thoughts. You need to take care of your heart. And again, there's more transformative lunar energy as well. And prosperity, know that when you transform negativity into positivity, you are prosperous. That within itself, learning how to transmute energy within itself is a very beautiful thing. That is prosperity. That is abundance. Learning to take a shitty situation and make the best of it, that is a blessing within itself. And that is the hardest earned kind of blessing, is to move away from pain and sorrow and anger and to transform it into something beautiful and pure, such as love and compassion and understanding. That is the only way to truly find prosperity. Because when we choose to have anger and resentment towards people, it's only going to come back in our life. It's only going to be a cycle. It's going to come back and bite us in the ass eventually. But when we learn to work through that energy, to heal ourselves, to work on ourselves, and to transform that, to transmute it into something else, that is where the beauty is. That is where the prosperity lies. The prosperity is in taking that choice, making that decision to move forward with compassion, like the Empress. I kind of want to see what's right here on top. Oh, I knew something told me to get the top card. Oh. There was a fucking reason. Forgiveness. Forgiveness. I'm shooketh. I'm shook right now, how they say. I mean, if you've been watching since the beginning of the reading, then this speaks for itself. I don't need to reiterate on this further. Definitely, I feel like this is a main message here, is to forgive yourself and other people in your life. This is huge. The blessings of life is to learn to forgive. That is a blessing. It's not a curse, it's not a weakness. It is a blessing to forgive yourself and other people. It's hard. But when you do, you open up a world of new possibilities, of new beginnings, of hope. I'm going to get one more from the top and see what's on the bottom. Travel and beauty. Travel, this card makes me think of the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is about moving away from negative situations, moving away from murky, destructive waters, and moving into new beginnings, moving into situations that are full of new energy, excitement, creativity, prosperity, abundance. Moving from one old pattern into a new pattern that is going to create abundance and help us see ourselves, see the beauty within ourselves, and to see that we have the power within ourselves to move forward, and that is our choice. Again, we got a choice card. Animals. This card came out in the last reading, which made me think of animal guides, of animal totems, animal spirit guides. Makes me think of dreams. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to the animals that come to you in your thoughts, in your dreams, in your meditations, and whatever it is in your life. The animals that you are the most drawn to, there may be symbols behind those animals that you can learn from. When we learn from these spirits who are so pure, they do have a lot to teach us. And instead of judging them as if they're not smart enough or as if they're not capable or anything like that, we need to understand that just because we are different beings doesn't mean that we cannot learn from each other. Does not mean that they don't have messages for us that can help us learn and grow in our own life. Maybe this is a message for someone to forgive someone who maybe has made it difficult for you financially, someone who took from you financially, or who really did not provide stability equally. This may be a call, or this is a call to forgive the people in your life who maybe made you feel like they were not there to support you, that they were not a pillar in your relationship, that they were not the person that you can go to, that they were not committed, that they were not loyal, that they were not balanced, that they were not truthful or honest about how they really felt or currently feel. This is a call to forgive the people who have brought some kind of difficulty in your life, whether it was a lack of commitment or a lack of financial stability or whatever kind of stability. Maybe you guys were together, shared a home, or a divorce, or whatever the case is. This is a call to forgive. And when you forgive, you're planting seeds. You're planting the seeds that are allowing new possibilities to grow from an old situation. It just made me think, for example, people who use certain old things that they don't want anymore and they use it to pot a plant. So for example, like in the middle of the desert, my sister and I have talked about how we love when we see, like, we hate seeing the fucking amount of tires that are in the desert. It's so sad. But to see like plants grow from the middle of the tire, to see old buildings being taken over by vines, it's beautiful to see nature taking back what belongs to nature. So what I'm seeing is forgiveness is about planting those seeds. Even if you're planting seeds in the middle of some broke ass fucking tire, you know, you're creating something beautiful out of trash. Creating something beautiful out of a shitty experience. The fact that you have learned or are learning to not judge circumstances or people so harshly because you understand hurt people hurt people. So the people who are the worst in life have probably gone through some of the worst shit in life. And that is not, I don't care who you are, what you've been through, that is not an excuse. Again, we are adults here, so it is our responsibility to take responsibility for our own lives. But to know that through any shitty fucking disgusting situation that you've been in, you can plant a seed of hope, of newness, of forgiveness. When you plant the seeds of forgiveness, you're planting the seed to grow something beautiful, even if it was from unfertile sand, even if it was from a stale negative situation. With forgiveness, you're able to plant fertile seeds and follow your passion. Follow your passion, because your passion is what leads you to healing. Healing. Yes. When you learn to step into your passion, you're learning to heal yourself. It's hard to step into the things that fuel your heart. It's hard to just let go. It's hard to, you know, when we're embarrassed and we're shy, we love to dance, but we don't want to dance in front of our friends or other people because we are too much in our head. Fuck it. Why not release yourself? Free spirit. We got free spirit earlier. The card that said free spirit, right? Be that free spirit. Be like, fuck what you think. I'm going to embrace it and I'm going to dance. And if you don't like my dance, I don't give a fuck. Because it is an expression of my soul. It is an extension of who I am. And if you cannot appreciate it, then it wasn't fucking meant for you anyway. Healing brings new beginnings. Forgiveness is learning to heal. Forgiveness brings healing. That is how we heal from the past mistakes that we've done, the shit that people have done to us. When we show compassion and we forgive, we heal. When we heal, we allow our hearts to sing, to soar, to be full of fire, which creates new beginnings for us. New doorways will open up when we forgive and we move on, when we transform and transmute energies from negative to positive. Oh yeah, and here was the free spirit card. It was under the deck. I just picked it up, and then strength card was the last card. You are being guided by the cosmos. Stay strong. A positive outcome is assured. Stay strong. And know that forgiveness is a strength. And it is not something that is easy. And it is not something that many people can say that they do. To actually forgive is a strength. I don't give a fuck who you are. If you think that holding grudges is a strength, you're dead ass wrong. So wrong. Holding a grudge is not a strength, it is a weakness. Because it is you allowing the past to eat away at your heart. It is you allowing circumstances to have control over you. When you hold a grudge, you're literally handing your power to someone else. You're like, you know what? This experience was so shitty. I'm going to give you my power because I can't let this go. I'm going to give you the power that I'm going to be focusing all my time and energy on the shit that you've done to me. That is not a strength. That's a fucking weakness. The strength here is to heal from past situations and to forgive. To move forward is to forgive yourself and the people around you. And I will reiterate again, that does not mean that what you have done or what people have done to you is okay or is not wrong. That's not true. It just means that you are not allowing the negativity to control you. That you are a free spirit, but that you take responsibility for that. The choice to forgive or hold a grudge is completely on you. And you know my perspective on that. I literally just said forgiveness is a strength. So if you're here listening, that's my perspective. And I do feel very strongly, obviously, with all of these cards coming out the way that they are, this isn't me pulling shit out of my ass. This is what Spirit wants to tell you. Anyway, know that you are a free spirit. Know that your life is in your own hands. Know that you are the magician. And step into that power with love and compassion, with hope for new beginnings for yourself and the people around you. Now, I will end the reading here. And as you can tell, more people are awake now. I really sincerely hope that this message has brought you hope and clarity, peace and forgiveness within yourself and for other people. I hope that this message resonates with you, and I would love to hear if it did, or if there's any message that you would like to share with people in regards to this. Is this something that you're experiencing, or that someone close to you is experiencing? Whatever the case is, I sincerely hope that this has helped you in some way. And I want to thank you so very much, with all my heart, body, mind, and soul, for being here, for sticking through this with me. And thank you. Thank you so much. I hope that you'll consider joining this little soul family that we have going on here. And this is our new beginning. This is our journey. And I hope that you'll join me. Anyway, I hope you have a great day, and I hope that you have a great rest of your great holidays and New Year and all of that. As of right now, the internet is kind of iffy. It's not the best internet right now. We're having trouble with it. So please bear with me. I was able to post the last reading, even though it took way longer and it was a little bit difficult. So If there's more issues with that, I will probably put in my community page or something that I'm having issues. But just know that I'm still planning on like providing these readings, and you know, I want to continue to connect with you guys. So when there's a will, there's a way. And I hope this helped. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye. I know you are the magician, always and forever. Believe it. Bye.